So far this movie has been getting a lot of mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people say it doesn't accurately show the life of Michael Jackson. And I wouldn't know because I wasn't alive during that time, which I'm very sad about because I went into this movie wanting to experience what it was like when Michael Jackson was alive. But what I got instead was a standard biopic that doesn't take any risks, even though I had a lot of fun with some of the scenes. Now, when people bring up Michael Jackson, they always talk about how big he was during his time. And I didn't have Michael Jackson growing up, but I did have Justin Bieber, and he was huge, and I always compared him to Michael Jackson. But there's one major thing that's different, and that is Michael Jackson did not have the internet. People can get big like that these days and everyone knows their name, but Michael Jackson got big out of pure talent. He didn't need the internet to make him that big. So watching this movie, I really wanted to feel that grandeur. And I will say that Jafar Jackson, who plays Michael Jackson in the movie, who is actually his real nephew, did an amazing job at portraying Michael Jackson. The voice is down perfectly, the dance moves are phenomenal, and I actually believe that that's exactly what he was like. Although he does play him in a very one-note way, Michael Jackson in this movie doesn't have very many flaws, if at all, and that's sometimes what you want to get from these biopics is like, oh, they're human too. They had these fallacies and they had these strengths. But in this movie, Michael Jackson just always makes the right decision. He's always the good guy in every situation. Which, okay, I don't know, maybe he was, but it does leave for a little bit of a flat story, not much of a character arc. And with these music star biopics, there's only so many ways you can go with the story. You have to choose an antagonist because this is a movie. And the antagonist in these movies is either going to be the family who doesn't want them to fulfill their dreams, or the corporate entity who's against them and just wants to use them for money, or drugs. It's one of those three. And this movie decided to heavily rely on the antagonist being his dad, which I thought was fine at first because the beginning of the movie shows his young life, growing up in his family, and hey, it was rough. And I liked a lot of the beginning of the movie, and the actor who played young Michael Jackson did amazing as well. He had a lot of excitement in his eyes that really shined through. But I wish that plot line would have resolved itself a little bit earlier in the film. Maybe the movie is more accurate on the timeline of him defying his dad and living his own life, but that definitely seemed like it was way overplayed than it should have been. Because I've heard through the interwebs that there's a lot more that Michael Jackson went through. I find it interesting that they chose the father to be the main antagonist when I've heard Michael Jackson say this.
The record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony, Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
And in this movie, all the music producers and all the corporate entities that work with Michael Jackson always are the good guys. They're always on Michael Jackson's team doing whatever he wants for him. They're just kind of there in the background while the bigger plot is defying his dad. But really, were all of those corporate entities, were all those music producers really good to him? It doesn't sound like they were the heroes of the story. The antagonist could have also been the drugs. I'm sure that was a huge battle. I'm sure he had ups and downs with that. It kind of mentions it, but doesn't bring it into the story at all. And of course, there's other allegations, which are allegations, so I'm sure they didn't want to bring that up because they didn't know for sure, but also because this movie was heavily funded by the Michael Jackson estate. And they actually had a lot of say in what was portrayed in the movie, and they said, cut that out, cut that out, cut that out. So I feel like we don't really get a full picture of Michael Jackson's life. But maybe that's not why you want to go to this movie. Maybe you just want to see Michael Jackson videos in 4K. And those parts are awesome. Chills, yes, I got them. It's Michael Jackson. Jafar Jackson does an amazing job at playing him. It does the Billie Jean song. It does the Thriller song. It does the Bad song. Oof, you get chills. I didn't grow up with Michael Jackson, but I know that that is the moment. That's the moment when he did the moonwalk for the first time. They're gonna show it. Ooh, it gets you. And that's where I have to say the movie is super fun because of those scenes. But also, I've watched Michael Jackson on YouTube. I've seen the original videos of what they're portraying. And my goosebumps are bigger when I watch the real thing. even when it's not in 4K. So it makes me wonder exactly why this movie was made. If you're not going to show a full picture of Michael Jackson's life, if you're not going to get into the details, into the nitty-gritty, if you're just going to tell the story that everybody knows, the vague story, you know, he grew up with his family and he had the Jackson 5 and then he kind of went out on his own. And this is kind of how it happened. A few details, like not very many details. Like I already knew that. I wanted to know more, but I got a lot of fluff. And still, instead of going, hey, watch this movie, look at this awesome scene. Oh man, these people dancing like Michael Jackson. It's so awesome. No. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go look on YouTube, The Real Michael Jackson. So in the end, this movie was kind of pointless. I didn't learn much new about Michael Jackson, and the things I did learn, not enough. I have to go Google it on my own. I paid $15 for this movie. Give me more information. Anyways, I'm probably going to be listening to Michael Jackson music for the next few weeks, so at least some good came out of it, but I'll probably give this movie a 3 out of 10. Anyways, guys, this has been Boltage Bros. My name is Jarom. I do weekly movie reviews and also make other fun videos like that, so if you're into that, subscribe. I've got a bolt.